Hello and welcome to Shave with Dave. This is my first YouTube video and I hope to provide some interesting information about double-edged shaving, a few ideas perhaps, and a look at some products. Now I'm coming to you from Tasmania, which is Australia's southernmost state, and being a fair way south, I did consider calling my YouTube channel Shaving Down Under, but changed my mind, didn't want to create any false expectations, if you get my drift. Now I have some ideas for upcoming videos, but this one will be about a couple of tips for double-edged shavers that you might find useful. First one concerns shaving soaps. Now I will often use this sort of a shaving soap, the soft variety, which is very easy to use, comes in a tube, and you just need a shaving bowl and a brush and away you go. But I also like the hard shaving soaps, and this one here is a typical example, Edwin Jagger. But what I don't like about them is putting them into a bowl, lathering them up, and then ending up with a wet mess that needs to dry out between uses. It seems a bit messy to me. So I thought maybe there's a better way. And I think I've found one. You need your shaving soap, of course, your hard soap, and I'll just get this one out. It's as I say, an Edwin Jagger, nice soap. You need your shaving bowl. And incidentally, this one was made for me by a friend of mine. Thanks, Susie. She's done a pretty good job. You can see that there has the ridges in the bottom, which really aids in lathering the soap. And it's just an excellent product. She's actually thinking of making them and putting a few on eBay, so I hope she does that, because I think there might be a demand there. It's a very good little bowl. The other thing you need, of course, is your shaving brush. This is a Maggard synthetic brush, and a terrific one. And the fourth thing you need, and this is probably what you don't necessarily have lying around, but you can get pretty easily, and that's a little grater. Now these are available in kitchen shops, $1 or $2. I picked this one up, I think, a couple of months ago, and it works really well. What I do is I get my bowl, get my hard soap, and using the finest side of the grater, just get your soap and grate a bit into the bowl. And of course it grates very finely, so it's quite easy for the brush then to dissolve those little bits and work up a lather. So I'll just put a little bit in there. I mean, obviously the amount you put in there will vary according to how much lather you like or need. I'll just dip the brush in the water there, and I'll show you how this works. Oops, sorry for the noise. But it lathers up pretty easily, because the pieces are so fine. They tend to dissolve. And bear in mind, I'm using cold water here, which is not ideal, but it does work up a pretty decent lather pretty easily. So there you go. You can dissolve those bits, work up a lather, and beauty of it is you still got a dry soap. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is about blade disposal. Now, we all want to dispose of our blades safely and responsibly. And you can buy little blade safes, and that's a perfectly ordinary and decent way to do it. But you can also do it even more cheaply than that. Just get yourself a little money box. Get one of these steel money boxes. This one, as you can see, is Australian $20 note. Replica, but I'm sure that our US and European friends have equivalents. Very cheap, $1 or $1.50, and there's your blade safe. Away you go. Now, I have labelled this used razor blades. The reason I've done that is not because I need to remember what it is, but this blade safe will hold, I think, literally thousands of blades, which means that we're talking years of supply And if I were to fall off the perch, I don't want anyone to be confused about what's in there. They'll know it's used razor blades. They can dispose of it simply and easily. Okay, last tip. If you're like me, you like to take your razor blades out after each use. I do that. Not everyone does, and you don't need to. I'm just a bit particular about that. And also, I tend to use a different razor every day. I rarely would have a shave twice with the same one. I have a reasonable collection. So I like to mix it about. So I take the blades out, clean the razor, and of course then you've got to put the blade somewhere. And I find, and this is a combination of the last tip and this one, get yourself a little magnet. Bang. There's your blade. And it's very easy to, as you can see, very easy to take on and off because it sticks out there. It's safe, it's out of the way, and you know exactly where it is. So that's the third tip. I hope you found them useful, and I hope they're not sort of obvious. And anyway, let me know what you think, and I might look at my next video, perhaps looking at some of my razors. I'm happy. If there's interest, I'll perhaps run through a few of them. I've got a collection of vintage and new, and I'm happy to give my views on them. But in the meantime, I'll get out of your way now and wish you smooth shaving.